So anyway, but yeah, Arlis Albritton, welcome back, dude. We did this before. Second time.
We were a little wasted. So it didn't make the cut.
I burned my face a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had a chemical peel. You know, I'm getting older.
I remember that.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was waxing philosophical, so
And Ryan Sanchez, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, everyone.
I love it.
Just did some golf today, but yeah, man, dude, welcome back. We want to
Thank you.
talk about your music, your entrepreneur stuff, all that shit, man.
Let's do it.
But,
Let's do it.
Ryan just took a little sip, so
Oh, head of the game.
Boone's Bourbon.
Little Boone's Bourbon.
Taylor, you good? No? Maybe you'll take a little swig? Okay, there you go.
Oh, he's
There you
thinking
go.
about it.
Jamie, pull that shit up.
Joe Rogan, Jamie, pull that up. That was good. That was a good one.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, here you go.
Awesome.
Taylor, let's pass it on.
Are you just going from the bottle?
Cheers.
Cheers. Whatever germs you got will kill it.
It's 100. It's 117 proof.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody out there.
Should have made millions during COVID.
Cheers to all you at home.
Awesome.
I did a halfie, and I'll do a halfie again in a minute.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Well, cool. Well, Arlis, man, I've known you for, I think now. Sorry, let me talking this. Arlis, I think I've known you now for, I think, 6 years? 2018?
Longer than that. Pretty sure.
I thought we got connected during Charles Songwriters Fest.
We did,
So 2018.
but a year before that.
Well, that was 2019.
Okay, well then, yeah,
No.
2018. I thought it was 2017.
No, it was
but-
2000. No, it happened 2019 because then I moved to LA
Okay.
at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so 2018. Yeah,
Okay,
So,
perfect.
But dude, so like, what's going on, man? Are you? I know you're touring a bunch.
Dude, I'm doing
Your
so much
your
stuff.
your festival's coming up. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so St. Augustine Songwriters Festival, which I started, 8 years ago, minus the COVID year, obviously. Whoop, 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 that dissolved, evaporated that year.
I was there 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you killed it too, dude. It's funny because you're a jam band since you're an amazing guitar player. So you kept calling me like, because you were in a writer's round and you've never been in a writer's round. Am I going to be okay? I'm like, you're going to be fine. And you did. You
It was
killed
fun.
it, dude.
Donnie Reese did violin.
Violin.
I mean, I played some songs, but
No, you killed
you
it,
know,
dude. It was
fun.
great. Your
But
songs
when's it coming
were
up?
great. It's the last week of September. It used to be in October, but we switched it to, we partnered with Sing Out Loud, which is a phenomenal festival in St. Augustine.
Wow.
So we partnered with them, and now we're the last week of September. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's fun, man. It's
Wow,
really
that's
cool.
coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I bring down about 50 to 60 songwriters, and I'm the booking agent, the hotel guy, the stage, the sound. I mean, like, I do it all, dude. So it's a lot
good
of
for
work.
you.
But Dylan Rumrell and I do it together.
Who are like the big writers?
So we partnered with Sing Out Loud, and so we partnered with those guys to have a show at the amphitheater. So we have Melissa Etheridge and Jewel on Friday night.
What?
And that's sold
That's
out,
sick,
which is
man.
great. So Friday night we have, as writers, we have Gretchen Peters, Will Kimbrough, Rivers Rutherford, Justin Wilson, huge writer. I mean, these
Yeah.
writers are all Hall of Famers. And then
recognize
Saturday, Brett James, oh my gosh, Halfway to Hazard's going to play. We have so many freaking songwriters coming this year, dude. It's
awesome.
crazy. Big, huge writers. So
Still in the same venues, like the.
same venues, other than we're using the amphitheater on Friday night. It's about 4,800 capacity.
That's a huge amphitheater.
That's beautiful.
Because like
amphitheater.
I know the Black Keys played, and you got War Hippies open up.
that wasn't the amphitheater though. That was the field show,
Oh,
which is the
okay.
week before my show. This year it's
Okay.
Eric Church and
cool.
Wow,
other
man. Well,
acts,
congrats.
but, yeah,
Everyone down in
it's
St.
pretty cool.
Augustine.
Have you been there?
I love St. Augustine.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
awesome.
yeah, it's golfing
Yeah.
central, dude.
Florida.
You have to come
yeah,
down
yeah,
there.
yeah. Hey.
Sawgrass, all that's around there, man. You
Yeah, I'll
gotta
write a
come
couple
down.
songs.
Hammock.
And pay for my tea times.
Watch us drive.
yeah.
Deal. Come on, next
That's
year.
awesome. Yeah, when I went, man, never been. When we Boone's Bourbon sponsored it,
Yeah.
had friends come. Dude, I have never been. I've been hungover before, but I've never been that hungover
Welcome
before
to
a
St.
show.
Augustine Songwriters Festival.
Oh, dude, I was.
I think you were puking.
I was.
The humidity like coming up. In
Well, so like what I'm getting at is like everyone was kind of like they gave me like they knew that I was throwing up.
Yeah.
And so like it was Sunday, and I forgot really killer rider to the left of me. I've met him before through you, and he laughed because it was like I was like I can't do it when he's doing it. So when the one before him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'll know, and what if I fuck up and I'm gone?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I put the guitar down. He just giggled, and I went behind the stage and made myself do it.
Oh.
And this is probably like I think it was like noon, 11:30.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I remember that.
and I could hear everyone out there also laughing. So after the whole set, I mean, I still played, but after everyone goes, "Hey, welcome to St. Augustine," I was like, "Holy shit!"
You're lucky. You're lucky you didn't have like a lav mic on you, just like throwing up through the PA.
Dude, it was so much fun though, dude. You took it like a champ, dude.
Yeah, it was
you
good.
recovered. You
I mean,
recovered.
because after I played the main stage, the first set I did, it was party time. It was like, "Where are we going?" And we went everywhere.
I remember.
And then what's the cool bar? It's at late night, and all the shows are there.
Trade Winds.
Trade Winds.
Oh,
and so we were there, and I remember just like everyone's like, "You're like, Tyler, meet this guy," and fucking shots. And I got a picture of me like doing this, and I
one eye.
Yeah, you know, and I
One-eyed
posted it, and I
wheelie.
deleted it. So anyway, it was. Yeah, I was like, "Why did I put that up there? Yeah, why did I post that?"
Yeah.
But it was so much fun. So,
Thank you.
congrats.
Man. Thanks.
Aren't you
Appreciate
trying
it.
to like sell it? Is that kind of your thing?
I mean,
maybe? You
if
know,
it happens,
if
it happens.
Cool.
Right now, it's an organic growth, and I love the organic growth
Sure.
of it. I'm not going out and dropping $100,000 on advertising stuff like that.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
literally
the way you built
growing.
it, it's like literally organic.
So the fans that come are real fans.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. And then the amphitheater is a little different because you have to promote that because there's so many tickets. So that's being promoted differently than what Songwriters is in town,
Sure.
where all those normal venues are. So
Sure.
it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
the model you made was what we did at Charlton Songwriters Festival.
That's right.
And I was like, man, I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to come back, but just the model you had was perfect. It's like, hey, don't worry, don't blow your load the first year. Let's just get it going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next thing you know, and you had so many fans from the St. Augustine
Come to that.
Yeah. Like you already had a built-in crowd. Go, Arlis put it on. Thanks for
Legit.
coming.
Yeah. And Key West, because I help with Key West. Like I've helped
Yeah.
with Key West for 18
You know
years.
how many people hit me up when they're like, "Can I get Arlis's number?" Because I heard he books Key West all the time. A lot of momagers and dadagers.
Don't give it. Don't give my number.
Nope.
They just want a vacation.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
want
I
a
get
good
hit
course.
up about you about, hey, I want to open a bourbon company, and I'm going, I don't know anybody.
That's funny, dude. Well, dude, stoked that you're back on it. I always love that part about you, but also your songwriting. Like, you got
Yeah.
what's going on with that?
So it's funny. I just got a Christmas cut on Home Free.
That's big. When I saw Joe Bonanasso on Sunday, I saw a big
Yeah.
poster of Home Free.
Yeah.
They're playing at the Ryman too.
Oh,
coming up.
sweet, yeah. I've been getting a lot of cuts. Vandaliers cut a lot of mine. Jamie Johnson and Luke Bryan, Parmalee. I get lots of cuts. So even
Sure.
all the way go back in time, I've Diamond Rio, John Michael Montgomery, all the older cats. I've got a lot of cuts on those guys too.
Sure.
So never the hit guy, but always the cut guy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So that's,
Well,
I
actually,
don't mind.
let's
So,
talk about that because and Ryan, you could probably jump on this too because
Yeah, he's a writer.
you're but you're going back to school for music lawyer law,
IP,
right?
yeah.
And so like,
no, congrats.
yeah, yep.
That's great.
I've cut.
I might need you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Hopefully a lot of people
I got a record with him. He plays, he's the music man, but now he's kind of going that route. And what I'm saying is like, music's kind of like a worthless thing now. And so, it's like
It's
a free.
definitely devalued.
It's just a free
Monetarily.
It's just a free commodity.
Yeah.
You put it out.
Yeah.
But I'm saying back in the day, I feel like if you had a cut, you said not the single guys. What I'm talking about,
Right.
Where if you still got a cut on a CD,
Yeah.
or a vinyl, you still made a lot of money. But now it's like it's got to be the single.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on 10 million plus records sold.
Yeah, man.
Somewhere in that. So the royalties are great, but when you sign a pub deal, you're taking a loan, so you owe all that back.
Yeah.
Now that I own my own publishing, I'm seeing more reward.
How long did you have not your own pub?
Oh, man, 7 years at EMI, which is Sony now, because
Yeah.
Sony bought EMI. 4 at Warner. 1 independently, and that just put a bad taste in my mouth. So I was like, I'm
when'd
out.
you get it back?
I didn't get it all back. I just started over. Like I get my EMI pub back as soon as I recoup what I owe them, which is almost close. So
Good
I'll
for
get
you.
50% of that back. So
I took a label advance through Beat Bread. You heard of
Okay.
them?
I don't
It's a whole
remember
new
that.
model, and I'll never do it again.
No,
Yeah,
it's tough.
This podcast brought to you by Beat Bread.
yeah. Sorry, guys. I was at Music Big Conference. I met with them. Hey,
Yeah,
yeah, I was
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like, why did I sign that? And when they came out, it was 2020. So everyone during COVID's like, oh, I'll take that deal.
Get the money.
Right.
Yeah, take the cash. It was only like $45,000. But
Yeah.
for me, in 2020, I was like, oh hell yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you're definitely
Yeah.
right. But then
So
all of a
you
sudden,
pay it back.
but then when you pay it back and the terms aren't over yet, now it's 50-50.
Right.
And you're like, well, but that's the thing though. If those kind of deals, I get it. If I was the banker,
Yeah, hopefully you have a sunset clause set up or something
Oh,
like
yeah, no,
that.
it's-
With this lawyer will probably tell you how to do that.
well,
I can't offer any legal advice yet.
but if I was a lawyer,
But I did stay at
But
a
if I
Holiday Inn
was
last
a
night. Yeah.
well, I'm just saying to you, but I get it if you're the banker. What if you go, you know what, screw it, I want to be a CPA now, I'm done with music.
Yeah.
Then they lose. So, I mean, I get
Right.
the upside.
I've got catalogs sitting in somebody's closet, that they
Yeah.
own it and nobody's pitching it, nobody's representing it, and so it's sad, right?
Yeah.
I'm still pitching it, and I get a cut or two on it, and they're like, "Well, who do we contact for admin?" I'm like, "I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's gone. I don't know." So
Yeah, because what if your guy leaves that knew you? You know what I
yeah,
mean? You
yeah,
have no
yeah.
idea.
So that's why I'm with Magusta. They're my admin company now. Trina and over there, she's a light in the darkness, man. For
That's
me,
awesome.
yeah, she really helps me out. So.
Well,
But
cool.
I get cuts like this Home Free cut or the Vandalier cuts, or I get tons of cuts. I just put them in touch with her, and then she takes it over for me. So it eliminates a lot of headache for me. That's
Sure.
for sure.
Are they pitch and sync?
They don't pitch at all. They're just my admin.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
they're just
yeah,
collecting
they
it.
go out and collect, and then if you're a small print, like say you're only going to sell 35,000 units, and then they totally collect that money up front, and then they give you royalties based on if it goes past that and stuff.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you connect with them?
So man, we met many years ago, and I brought them a few acts back in the day. I think even Home Free through Luke Pierce, because he goes, "Who's your admin?" Because they were with Columbia and Sony at the time. I said, "Well, Trina and Magusta," and it all just kind of married together. Yeah.
Is she here?
She's here. Oh
Nice.
yeah, Trisha,
Heck
Trina,
yeah.
Dixie, all of them.
Well, here's a fun story, and you heard this before, but it's let's talk about because that first episode's completely in the trash because we were wasted. Talk about how you moved here because it's a cool story.
Okay.
Because you said you came up here in your car, you work in a
did.
movie theater
Oh my gosh,
You
dude.
know?
So this story.
from Florida.
Yeah, so I was digging ditches during the day at this electrical company. At night, my mom wanted me to get at least an AA degree, like an Associates in Arts degree at a community college. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I'm digging ditches in the Florida heat, man, going to this.
How old are you? 16?
Oh, dude, 17, I think, something like that. And so I would go, and I got my degree. But in the process of this, she was such a musical lover. She loved music. I mean, it's just the track listing of my life is what she played. So I could hear a song right now and still remember like what she was cooking or what we were doing. It's really cool,
That's
right?
cool.
And then my neighbor, he had a different sense of music. He loved lyrics, like hooks. And he started showing me The Bluest Eyes in Texas by Restless Heart. Like, even though it was old at the time, it was new to us.
Totally.
And so he started showing me all these songs. I'm going, oh my gosh, those are beautiful. And so one day I went down, and I was so broke, dude. I put a deposit on a guitar on layaway. So it took me 4 payments. I finally got to go back.
What was the guitar?
It was a Washburn.
Oh,
Cheap
okay.
as hell,
Yeah,
dude.
you know.
Dude, I
Gets the
didn't know
job done.
anything.
What was your first guitar?
It's a Yamaha electric
Yamaha?
Mine
knockoff
was-
Stratocaster.
Electric, okay.
Mine was like a Washburn, but it was like their cheaper version.
Oh, mine.
Oscar Schmidt.
Oscar Schmidt. Yeah.
Yeah. Piece of shit guitar.
Well,
Oscar
I don't
shit.
know, man. That thing is in my mom's house in the closet,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just disintegrating right now. I'm
But the
sure. of
strings
it,
are
so.
strings are like color fucking
Oh,
brown. Yeah.
dude, yeah, you could definitely have to get a tetanus shot.
Isn't
if you
that
play
isn't that
thing.
nasty? You touch those old
Yeah,
strings,
oh.
you're like, oh my
dude.
god, dude.
Well, my
It's
first
crazy.
guitar, I tried to get more value out of it. I had a friend in high school. I guess this was middle school.
You tried to trick him?
Well, no. His,
a great
Hey, I got a
guitar.
great guitar for you. Totally stays in tune.
his God-given name is Joe Walsh.
Oh
so I
my
had him
gosh.
sign my guitar, and I said it's a Joe Walsh signed guitar.
Oh,
And we tried
no.
to sell it, and no one.
See,
bought
he's
it.
a lawyer. That's what lawyers think.
How can I make the best money fast
Yeah.
as fuck?
So now I have Joe Walsh, who I haven't talked to in a decade.
Oh, my
on the back
gosh.
of my first, like on the plate.
you still have it?
Yeah. And there's like Jimi Hendrix
So
stickers
you
on
never
it.
sold it. Okay.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
I threw a
have-
Jimi Hendrix sticker on there. I was like, maybe this will increase the value.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's,
And now there's like 20 other stickers on there.
bro, that's crazy.
Is it in the studio?
It is, I think. Yeah,
Wow,
I actually played it like a year ago.
That's
I think
cool,
I put
man.
it on a record.
That's cool.
We needed like a really trashy sounding
Sound.
guitar.
Well,
Guitar.
that's the good one. Then.
Yeah.
You don't change the strings on that.
No.
You just go with the strings.
Get like a really shitty amp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's exactly what it was. It was like one of those like Target.
And then there's a
$40
tetanus shot
ones.
waiting for you right there when you're done.
A shot and a tetanus shot. A shot of Boone's Bourbon and yeah.
Great placement.
Anyway,
But
so
yeah,
me
so
and
you
my
got the
neighbor, we went in this competition mode of trying to find the best lyric song. And so in the process, I bought a guitar, and I bought one of those Melbay guitar chord books.
Yeah.
You know those things? And so I'm sitting here teaching myself how to play.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and we would run up to there's a Goodwill by the house, and I ran up there, and I found a Jimmy Buffett Songs You Know by Heart book. So I bought it, and I taught myself how to play Margaritaville. First song I ever learned.
That's definitely your vibe.
Totally my vibe. And then I took all his chords and I put my own lyrics to it and all this way before copy infringement even crossed my mind.
I did the same thing. Bro.
Interpolation.
Interpretation.
Is that what you call it, Mr. Lawyer?
Interpolation. I think.
Interpolation.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, that's how I started writing songs.
Yeah.
Same with
You
you.
still do.
That's a good one.
Cheers, guys.
haven't been caught yet.
Oh, great. Now it's out there.
Get a cease and desist tomorrow.
Well, I think sampling. If you actually put it in your song, you need to clear the sample. But when people I believe Redbone is the Childish Gambino
Childish
song.
Gambino, yeah.
They had a sample, but then they just played the sample in actual music, so that changes it into like a interpolation. I think that's the right term. I don't want to sound like an idiot.
It kind of makes sense, right? It's kind of like if I was your whatever company and I took your master, it's like Taylor Swift when it happened to Scooter Braun or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you re-record it. Is that what you're saying? Like it's
Well, yeah, because it changes who would get the money at that
Yeah,
point.
because
Where if you use
own,
the sample,
that person owns the new masters, whoever
Yeah.
recorded it.
Yeah.
Over.
and if you use the sample, you're taking it from the master.
Yeah, so you-
whereas if you're interpolating the song, now that's coming from the publishing
so
side.
you would own the masters
That's interesting.
differently.
And so anyway, sorry to
Yeah.
but just
that's
the
okay.
idea that I've taken a
Well,
song.
I mean, I was young, so
Yeah.
that's what I did. And then I started writing my own stuff. And I just living room famous at the time, sitting there, and all my buddies were like, play that one song about McGill Bay or the Stingray Shuffle or whatever it was. I put lyrics to Jimmy's music to, and I would do it. And then I got my AA degree, and I put 2 weeks notice into Digging the Ditch Company because I was just like, man, I got to get the hell out of here because all my friends, my brother, and everybody, it was just a drug town, right? It was like you're a dealer or a doer. And if I stayed in that town, I'd become one. And so it was, love ya, mom, dad, gotta go. And I packed my car up, dude, and I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I had $600 in my pocket from paying for school, and then also that's what I saved, right? So I get to Nashville with $600 in my pocket, and I got in. I made a couple sandwiches, and when I got into town... The old NSAI building was on 16th Avenue there, and the parking lot was empty, and I just pulled in, and I didn't know what else to do. It's like 8, 9 at night. I park.
Did you go to Nashville before this, or this is your first time here?
I went on a vacation with my parents one time.
So you kind of had an idea where...
I had no idea. I was a
no-
kid.
Okay,
that
yeah.
I would be in the car while they drove around, right?
Well, they
like
went to
literally,
Tootsie's.
when I first
Yeah.
came into Nashville, I was on I-40, and you see Music Valley sign, and you're like, oh, maybe I got to go to Music Valley. And you're like, so you almost go that way, and you're like, no, I'm going to go downtown. And then you find Music Rose downtown. Music Valley is where Grand Ole Opry is. So
Yeah.
it's like two separate worlds. So it's confusing to a new kid in town.
Sure.
So I go down to the Music Row. I pass out in this parking lot because I'm exhausted. About 5 a.m., a cop knocks on the door.
Driving one day?
Drove in one day. Yeah, all in one day. Got a knock on the window. Hey, man, are you supposed to be in this parking lot? And I'm being a dumbass kid. I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be in Nashville. I'm going to be a songwriter. And the cop actually laughed at me, and he goes, no, are you supposed to be in this parking lot? And I go, I don't know, man. He goes, I'll tell you what, be out of here by 9 because they open at 9. I don't want you in this parking lot. And I was like, okay, he seems pretty cool.
So he gave you a pass.
So I parked there for the next 3-4 nights. So I figured, okay, he was cool. I'm going to stay there. I slept in my car, and then Monday rolled around, and there was an open mic at Bluebird. So I drove over there. And
On Monday night?
Monday night, open night.
Yeah.
So I go, and I'm like, it wasn't open yet. I was too early. I was like, oh, damn. But I looked, and I sat in the parking lot, and I looked, there was a gas station next to it, and their bathroom door was open. So I went and took a shower in there
Oh.
in the sink.
Yeah.
Horse bath.
Yeah.
I took me one in the whaling bath. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So, anyways, all that being said, I finally found a.
Did you get to play that night?
No, I just went to go and see how it worked because I didn't understand any of this at the time. I'd looked at it when I was in that Bluebird and I was looking at all those guys playing on Monday night, and I was a little jealous, but then in my mind I'm like, well, they're just me. We're the next generation of this town, hopefully.
Sure.
We're all chasing a dream. I just knew, that's all. And they knew what they were doing and I didn't. And I learned eventually and all that stuff. And then I found a hotel, I got a hotel room one night so I could really take a proper shower, and I bought a newspaper and I circled all these spots. And the next day I found a little apartment above a garage, and that's where it all started, man. $400. Now I'm down to maybe $150.
But then you had a month.
I had a month. Boom. I had a month to figure it out, right? And so he goes, well, you can't move in until tomorrow, so you're out of luck. And I'm like, okay, cool. So
I got a parking lot.
Well, I got
nowhere to go.
I literally go, hey, okay.
Bro, I know exactly where I'm
I
going.
got to kill today. I'm
yeah.
going out of my mind, because you're living in your car and you're always around the car. So I go to a movie, right? I'm going to sneak into 1, 2, 3 movies, however long the day kills.
Get some AC. Was it summer?
Get some AC. It was kind of summer, yeah.
Okay.
So I roll in, and this manager, her name was Shannon. She's the sweetest girl in the world. She sells me your ticket. She rips the ticket, hands me the half, and she goes, "Are you gonna want popcorn and Coke?" And I'm going, "Well, yeah, that's all I'm living off of nothing right now. So yeah, I'm here to eat that." So she goes, "Okay, I'll be right around." So I go and I stand in line. I'm the only one in the damn building, and she comes around and sells me my popcorn and Coke, and I go,
She's the ticket lady and
well, she was the manager too, and she goes, "Well, I'm going to go start the movie in a minute. Just give me a second." And I go,
"Wow."
I looked at her and I go,
"Do you need help?
Do you need help?" And she goes, "Yes." I go, "I'll start now." And she goes, "Well, now?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Now or tomorrow, whatever. I'll start whenever you need me." And she goes, "Fill this out." I'm filling this application out, and it goes, address, where do you live? And I don't know where I just rented. And I go, "Hey, what's the address here?" And I wrote down the movie theater in Lion's Head. And she goes, "You can't live here." And I go, "Yeah, I live there." And I point to my car. She goes, "I might be making a big mistake." She hired me, though.
Yeah.
So how long did you work there?
Oh, gosh, two years probably.
Wow, man. So that was
Well, it was like it started full, and then it went to part-time.
Well, yeah.
Because I started working in the film industry there for a while.
But that was your first
that was my
part-time
first gig, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember what movie you were gonna go see?
Good question.
I don't remember what movie I was going to see.
Because you're probably just so blown out of your mind, just like, I'm here.
Dude, I was, and I mean, I saw 3 that day too. So
you did go. You did go to see some movies.
I did. She goes, "You start tomorrow." I go, "Perfect."
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was good. Anyways,
well,
that was a long story.
No.
And I apologize.
No, it's a great story. So then, what was the first? I know you worked that was a cool guy you worked for, but what was the first music? Like, wow, dude, I got my first gig or first music.
Okay. So I was
because let's get up to EMI, but but you know what I mean?
Well, I was in film industry, and I met another PA, a production assistant, and he was into music, and that's when we started writing for his band, and so I started honing in songwriting. Believe it or not, I was okay, but I wasn't great.
Well, how long were you doing the video thing?
About 2 years, so
Okay.
2 to 3 years,
So you're
and then one of the producers,
18, 19.
yeah, no, I was probably 21 at this point.
Okay.
And so one of the producers' girlfriend worked at CMA, and so I went over there and I was the tape copy guy for CMA, but I was writing the entire time. And so Rick Hall, I don't know if you remember him from Fame Publishing, Fame Music.
Yeah, you've mentioned it before.
Sitting on the dock of the bay, all these,
Yes.
everything, Mustang Sally. He and I met, and he fell in love with me somehow, and he hired me to be his tape copy guy. And I think that's where I progressively became the best writer at that time that I could be, because I had the catalog of every songwriter that wrote there. And so I was sitting there supposed to just answer phones and make little tape copies when they needed them. So I ran through the entire list of songs and listened and studied, and they allowed me to come in at night. So me, Dirk Bentley, and all of us were at night writing there. We were nobodies at the time, right? Dale Worley sleeping on the couch, like when I would come in, it's like, it was just, I'm in this whole twilight zone of famous people.
That's wild.
But that's how I became a better writer. And one day I started this song, and I could have finished it, but I knew that I needed to have a professional on it because I knew it was better than my normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Stephen Dale Jones, who just had a big hit called One More Day on Diamond Rio. Mm-hmm. I said, hey, man, I got a song I think you'd be interested in. And so we go in, and he finished it with me. He goes, man, that's great. Let's write it. He goes, I'm available this day. And I go in, and we wrote it. And then he goes to his One More Day Diamond Rio #1 party, and he gives them a CD of our song. And he goes, hey, this is your next hit. This is another one. And Diamond Rio cut it. So
Wow.
That's a solid move on his part.
Oh,
dude.
You
got the #1 party?
Yeah.
You want the next one?
Oh, dude, it's legit. And it was a CD. That lets you know how old I am, right?
At least it's not a cassette.
All right, what year is this?
Oh, gosh, 2000. 2000 or 2001, right in that
Y2K,
area.
baby.
Yeah, and so it's funny as it is, there was this Nashville Scene. Have you heard of this little magazine at the time?
Oh yeah,
was
I
up
met
and coming.
the owner the other day. This older
Okay.
lady.
Okay.
At a tasting.
Oh,
I was
nice.
I was like, I own this. She goes, I own Nashville Scene.
She's like, gotcha.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
Yeah. Fuck you,
You
kid.
own some bourbon? I own a magazine.
That's a big magazine.
It's huge. So some
She was
reason
very
in
sweet.
the year 2000, I got voted as best upcoming songwriter, and I don't even know who voted for me in this magazine. I know I was writing songs for all the rock bands in town at the time.
How cool is that?
So they were just cutting and singing my stuff, and they all kind of maybe probably pitched in and voted for me. And the dude at EMI, Bruce Birch, I love this dude, bless his soul. He ended up starting talking to me, and at that time I got that Diamond Rio cut. And so now I had that voting, and then I had the Diamond Rio cut. So he signed me. So that was it.
Wow.
Game over. I signed my first deal at EMI.
What did your parents say? Do you remember? Like, did you call them up? My mom, dad.
You know, they didn't understand it. They still were the ones that were like, did you sell a song?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm like, you don't sell songs, you get them recorded, and then you get a royalty off of it, and you own it, or the person that signs you owns it. So when I finally told them I was making a living writing songs, they were like, oh. They didn't know it was a career. They didn't know you could make a living writing songs.
Totally.
You know? It's like, what?
Yeah, it took my parents. My dad hopped on it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But my mom was always giving me a lot of stuff because my uncle, I guess, he was a badass bass player. He almost played with Tony Iommi, and then it didn't happen.
Oh,
so it's a long
dang.
story. Black Sabbath, right?
Yeah.
But he's like a twin Twistle. Am I saying it right? From the Who, the original bass player. It's nuts. So that's a whole other thing. What I'm saying is my mom finally stopped giving me stuff just because she was concerned.
Right.
Because your uncle was trying to do it, didn't work out. And I remember those days. It was when we did Old Crow Medden's show.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, and I remember like she was living in California. She flew out, and she was just looking at me, and it was just this weird look. I was like, "Can you stop fucking looking?" Because you could just feel it, you know.
That's her baby.
But she was just like, impressed, or what do you want to say? Just
love
like,
it.
wow. So that was, and then after the show, she goes, "I'm gonna stop giving you shit." I was like, "All right, thanks, mom."
Okay,
This
good.
is the real
good,
deal.
It was
good,
cool.
good,
'Cause
good.
Used
That's
to call
awesome,
me
man.
used to call me like 8 in the morning when I was a jazz major at Carolina. I'm like, "You got a degree yet?" I was like, "That's not gonna work. I'm a sophomore." Like, I used to get so pissed at her.
I mean, I got married young, so I was more concerned about my wife than my parents.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
My parents, I love them. They work their butts off. They're just really working class. They never really
Sure.
gave me anything to. They were like, "Good luck," but
Totally.
because they couldn't afford it, it's not their fault. They're
yeah.
beautiful people.
Well, they gave you some grit.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, how many? And you could test it because you have probably recorded a lot of bands, man. Living here is, my opinion, if your back's not in the corner,
Yeah.
you're never gonna really
tough. It's
figure.
true.
Well, you're not gonna. If it's not in the corner, you have no other choice. You're not gonna figure it out. If life's pretty easy for you, I'll get to it tomorrow, and then
Yeah.
you never get to it. So
That's it.
I think the grit
That's it.
really does make you in this industry, 100%.
Totally. When you have a plan B, it's hard to commit to plan A. When
Yeah.
you just have plan A,
Very much.
then you're
plan A.
all in.
That's
I'm
it.
not saying that it doesn't happen. Like there's
Yeah.
people that kind of
does
stumble into a great song.
That's a true story.
But then it's keeping it up at that point. Then you have to get rid of your
Yeah.
plan B and commit to plan A.
yeah. That's
Yeah, I think a
interesting.
lot of people maybe
That's true stuff, right?
I think a lot of people they get signed or whatever you want to call it, and they think, "Oh, it's over. I made it." No, then like the
that's
real
when it begins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Even though you can be like, "I've been doing it for 10 years." Like, well, that's cool.
I mean,
anyway,
I
you just started today.
I was waiting tables, writing songs, and working at 2 jobs. And then when I finally got a deal, I wrote 2 a day. because it freed up me from waiting tables and all that. So I was like, what else am I going to do? So I was there. Hey, you want to write 9 a.m.
Nice.
2 p.m.
Where were you writing in town back then? All over Music Row?
EMI.
Okay, always
EMI. Man, my writer's room was next to Chris Stapleton's.
there. Wow.
Banging on the door. You singing awesome, son of a bitch. Keep it down. Shut up. You sound amazing. Can you keep it down a little?
Was he loud?
Oh, dude, he can't. He's such a great singer. I don't want him to be quiet, I was like...
That's cool, man.
Yeah, well, it's funny because that whole writer's room, there was so many famous people in and out of it constantly, from...
Well, that's when you met John Paul White, right?
Yes, actually. John Paul White, I met him at Fame, when I was at Fame. He was an intern for Fame down in Muscle Shoals, and that's Walt Aldridge.
Cool.
And all those guys, Brad Chrysler... Those guys kind of
we've kept in touch since the Charles Songwriters Fest.
Oh, he's amazing, dude.
You had a moment with them at Americana Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you? Were you drunk?
I was real drunk. I was really drunk.
We had the 5 spot. No, they ended up being buddies.
Yeah.
But
It's like buddies for a night. Like,
nice.
Well, no, but I mean, but you just walked up to him drunk. I was like, "What are you doing?" And eventually, it's like you couldn't separate them.
Yeah.
But anyway, John Paul White after the Charles Songwriters Fest, he's like, he'll just be like, "Hey, this guy owns a bourbon. I'm gonna hook you up this festival. Just, it's cool. He's been very sweet.
I wrote a couple great songs with him too. So
yeah,
right. And then I remember him telling me he was doing the Civil Wars when he started that band.
And that was big.
It was big. It was great. It was good. It was good stuff.
Well, I mean, so EMI doing the publishing.
Yeah.
And then when did you just decide to get more entrepreneurial? Or that just kind of just fall in your lap? Because I feel like a lot of...
So EMI ended up letting me go.
Oh.
So when they let me go, I floundered around and I didn't really know what to do. You go into survival mode, right? And then I was still writing songs, and next thing I know, Josh Thompson gets a record deal, and he cuts 2 of my songs, and I own the publishing on them. And then next thing I know, Jamie Johnson gets a record deal, and... a second one, because he was at RCA and RCA let him go, and he showed up at my house one night in the middle of me wondering what I'm going to do financially, because I have a baby girl at this point and my wife, and he shows up and he plays me this record he made in LA, and it blew my mind. It was the one with In Color and oh my God, man, that album is so good. It's one of my favorite albums. And so he goes, "Hey man, I need a tour manager. I just need you to come out with me," because
he trusted you.
He trusted me, and I could say I wasn't a yes man, and I never was a yes man. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he liked about me. And we were buddies. I helped him get his deal at EMI, and then I got him the meeting at RCA Records and all that stuff. So
I remember you telling me
that all helped out. But man, I ended up going on the road with him tour managing, and I've never did this before in my life. So
you just showed up to work. Like,
I got it. Showed up to work, dude, and I wung it. And the first damn show I ever did, it was a fair, and we're all outside, and a damn hurricane came by, and we had to move it inside, and it was miserable, dude. And I'm in charge of all this at this point.
Here's
and
your
I'm
first day.
First day.
He's like, "Hold up, I know about hurricanes."
Oh, yeah, right. I can tell you this. I'm like going, this might not be my gig, man. This sucks. And Jamie's like, "Oh, it'll get better. We're all going to help you out. I'm like, all right. And it all worked out. And then I became his day-to-day manager. I just gradually worked myself up.
Yeah, he just trusted you.
Yeah, he trusted me, and I trusted him, and it worked really well until it didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would come home, and your kids they're afraid of you to hold them because they don't know you're their dad because you're gone so much. Like, he toured so much, and I think it tormented him and me and everybody. Like, totally. It's nobody's bad. It's just a way of the beast. Like, we were new to this. We didn't know you go out for 280, 300 days out of a year, and next thing you know, you're home for only so many days. And
then what if a song takes off, and then all of a sudden you got to go,
well, this was In Color was off, man. It skyrocketed. I mean, one minute we're flying to ACM Awards to play it, or CMA, or Grammys, or we're everywhere, dude. We're
taking every opportunity because, like, dude, we got to go.
I mean, I didn't even know where I was at half the time, It's like, where are we going?
Well, I have a question, just because you're talking about touring.
Yeah.
And maybe you can comment on it, too. I remember this back in the day, like Edwin McCain, because he's from South Carolina, and I got lucky to do a couple of shows when I was really young.
I'll be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a great
Great song.
podcast about it where he talks about this. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because it was those times with CDs.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious if you guys did it. He would get a word like, oh, Atlantic might drop us, but I'm in my hometown Atlanta tonight or whatever, and let's go to the record store and buy all the records. So Nielsen SoundScan sees it.
Oh.
And we don't get dropped. Did you guys ever do that?
No, we never did all that.
Smart.
I mean, that's
No.
what we would do. And I've heard from other bands like, yeah, we did that. So then check it out. We bought the records. We'll sell them at the show. We'll break even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
So it
makes
wasn't-
sense.
You know what I mean? But I mean, never did any. Did you do any tricks like that?
No, because when I was day-to-day management, you buy the records from the label at a discounted price, and then you took them on the road and then sold them.
Oh, okay.
And I was just too busy to go to a Walmart and buy them out of records. I mean, it makes sense though. What you're saying
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Did you ever hear that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
okay.
I heard
Oh,
that. Yeah. I heard people buying out warehouses of them though.
Wow.
Too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I've heard a very popular artist had that happen.
Yeah.
back in the day.
Oh,
artists,
yeah.
well, okay. I mean, let's get back to your stuff, but just to say, just because all the stuff that I deal with artists for me, right? What you learn is everyone's got inflated numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's kind of like what you hear sometimes with radio or like iTunes, because that's still kind of around, but also Spotify and Apple Music or whatever the heck, right? Is like even big labels, they'll be like, yo, I'm making something up. Ariana Grande this week. You got Kings of Leon? So just back off this week. Let us do our thing.
Oh, the labels do that
And
for
then,
sure.
and then next week you get your week. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, all day.
You know what I mean? And most people don't know that, you know?
There's always those conversations going on. It goes so much deeper, but I'm not going to get into it.
No. Well, we're not gonna say too much, but I'm just saying.
You keep your secrets.
Yeah.
I like my job, dude. Don't ruin me.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, most people don't know that, but if you're not in the business, the way I look at it for the Western world, right, is like if you live in like middle of America or something. Oh shit, they're on The Voice. They must be famous. Like you just put something in front of somebody. I'm not trying to make fun. I'm just saying who people are in the industry, and if it takes off, and then they get a Rolling Stone article, #1 song this week, everyone goes, oh, they must be famous.
Right.
It's really marketing is like the biggest thing because how many bands you see they're not so good, but holy shit, they took off. You know what I mean? And now they're a product.
Well, and a lot of the mirage is you think they're financially well off and they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, they had this or they have that or whatever.
Must be millionaires.
And he's had a #1, but they didn't realize it cost
all of the money.
$1 million to do the tour, and they made $1,100,000. You know what I mean? So they made $100,000 or whatever.
Split
They don't
ways.
understand any of that.
Isn't
stuff.
that wild?
It's crazy.
Off of
dude.
like 3 years of work with
doing
the record.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
making $33,000
And then-
a
yeah,
year.
yeah.
And then the band breaks up.
Yeah. Hey, I've been a part of that.
There it is.
I've been a part of that.
Yeah,
for
Joe
sure.
Wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you at, dude? Yeah, you had
I didn't take my advance.
I stood my ground.
Yeah, I'm keeping my money.
What was the name of the band you were talking for?
They should be unnamed. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah,
But I remember
yeah.
you really gave it a go.
Yeah. If someone goes through my Instagram, they could figure it
I
out.
like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, but-
it's not just you topless?
No. There's a couple
That's the
of
only
those.
reason I went on your
I
Instagram.
think there's one of me in a jungle, no shirt. So
Ooh, all right.
I was in better shape. Yeah.
Feet pics.
Are you holding a machete?
I was not in the picture. I had to put it down.
I'm the bag. Of
It was
pictures,
evidence,
just
you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyway, I just thought that was interesting to talk about because you were in the heyday of Jamie Johnson.
Yeah, very much the heyday.
And
yeah.
so I was just curious
the
if you
big
guys,
stuff.
or maybe that stuff was not your camp, but I was just curious if you guys were ever doing stuff like that.
No, we didn't really do that. I mean, we just didn't have time.
Sure.
If
I
I'm
mean,
being
you're just
honest.
fucking touring.
Yeah, I mean, every day we were in a new city, and then we were loading in, and it was so much involved. And then he was so wanted because he was this mysterious person, right? And when you're a mysterious person like that, everybody wants to interview you, or they want to get a reaction off of you, so they try to ask a question that'll
Catch you off guard.
Stump you.
catch you off guard. And so it's like we went around and we met some beautiful people, great people. Then you meet a bunch of dumbassery people that just are trying to do that, and it just doesn't make sense, you know.
Totally.
It's just they're there to get a shock value, and then we were just so busy.
Like, see ya, bye.
Yeah, I mean, we'd do Letterman, and we'd go out to do Leno, and then we would do, Fox and Friends. We would do so many. I didn't know where I was half the
You're
time.
putting in the work.
Oh gosh,
Wow.
dude. Yeah.
Well, then after Jamie Johnson, there was a couple others.
Yeah, I did Craig Wayne Boyd, Brian Davis. We got him out with Brantley Gilbert, and he did really well as an independent artist. and he's still my best buddy, so I love Brian. And then Craig Wayne Boyd, he was on The Voice, and I was managing him, and he did really well. He ended up winning season 10.
Cool.
And so we totally went at it.
Rode that wave.
We rode that wave. It was really weird because we got put on a record label, Dot Records, and they didn't have a clue that we were signed to them now. So it was really interesting how it all worked out. So we go and we meet these guys at the Palm, and we're talking to
The restaurant downtown?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm talking to the president of this label, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I've been on a boat in the Bahamas. I have no idea that you're on our label." And I'm going, "Well, we've been on your label for 3 weeks after we won. I don't know what to do." So I just put him on the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things. It was like
That's wild.
nobody knew. It was really weird. But
Well,
it happens.
I've heard that over time. Well, like Fitting a Bell. You remember those fellas? The duo guys.
yeah,
that they did
yeah.
Charles
The
Songwriter.
Irishy.
Yeah. Warren and then Shane.
Yeah, yeah.
They definitely drink a lot of Jameson.
I always just associate like them with Ireland.
Yeah. Well,
They're not Irish, are they?
No.
Warren
I guess Finnegan is what.
Right.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Warren definitely is.
Okay.
But I think Shane's a little bit. Yeah, Finnegan Bell. Finnegan, you know.
Yeah.
But no, they amazing songwriters. They're gonna be next week at the Butchwalker show I'm doing. They're just gonna.
yeah.
Well, because I had my show, which is
Sold out show.
Sold out show.
Yeah.
But right place, right time, man. It was not like Butch Walker's like I need TB to play my show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he asked to play it.
Yeah.
What it was is he sold out Friday night, and then awesome guy named Tristan Hodges, I believe. He's the new bookie at Third and Lindsley. He's got to be a couple years younger than me.
Okay.
And so he called me. He's like, dude, like kind of like. And I remember I was at Virgin Hotels one day working just because I wanted to not work at home. And he's like, dude, your show, I got to cancel it. I was like, what? Why? It was already announced for like a month and a half. I was like,
Yeah,
come on,
I
man.
remember.
He goes, well, Butch Walker sold out Friday in 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that's what Butch Walker does.
Yeah.
And he's like, so he wants Thursday. I go, oh, well, just let me open up. And he was like, oh, okay, you're not mad? I go, well, why would I be mad? He goes, well, I just started. I got him for 2 days. I go, that's
Yeah.
a big deal for you, dude. I'm not going
Do
to
you
be
get to
upset
open
with
for
you.
both days?
No, just Thursday.
Just Thursday. Okay.
And I think I'm the only opener. Because Butch Walker didn't want any openers, but he was very kind. And Butch, like, he even texted me. He goes, dude, I didn't mean to steal your show. I had no idea.
Right.
So it was just like right place, right time. It was
remember.
very cool. But Fitting a Bell was supposed to open up, so they're just come sing some songs. But anyway, what I'm getting at is they had an example when they were called Siler's Bald. They had the story like 20 years ago or something. Where they got signed to like a Christian Universal Sony thing, whatever the label was called back then. And then the guy that signed them left. And
Okay.
so then all their budget money the day their record dropped, their guy was gone. So then all their budget radio money went to Jars of Clay. Jars of Clay is Jars of Clay now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they got dropped because all of a sudden he goes, dude, we try to call and no one would pick up. Like no one knew they were signed anymore. So I know what you mean from that start.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, Jars of Clay. I haven't heard that name in forever.
But I mean, like, you know, boom. You know, they got all the radio money. They became an act.
I met Butch Walker through Jeremy Popoff of Lit. We
So-
went to his
yeah.
studio out in California.
Was it you?
Maybe.
I think he goes, dude, yes. He goes, dude, he DM'd me on Instagram.
Okay.
He goes, Arlis told me about you. I'm going to be at the show. I'll see you Thursday.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
lit.
yeah.
Dude, I love those guys. I worked
yeah.
for them forever, man.
Wow,
Me and
I
Jeremy
swear to
used
God,
to
he
write
goes,
songs
dude,
all the
Arlis told me
time.
about you. I'll be at the show. I'll meet you then.
There you go.
I'll try and get you guys a ticket.
Perfect.
I'm waiting until it's right before and be like, because it's super sold out. So.
Don't even worry,
We'll
man.
see.
I love
Come
it.
out of my guarantee that got canceled, but
Oh yeah, I get like a Venmo request the day
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
What
yeah,
the
yeah.
hell,
Dude, I
right?
work so many. I work so many concerts and shows. Everybody's like, "Hey, you want to go see this show?" No.
no.
Yeah.
You want to go out? No.
But we've been out a couple times.
Yeah.
To Zanies.
Oh my
To
god.
our buddy.
yeah.
To our buddy.
That's comedy though.
Yeah,
Yeah, comedy's
See,
different.
that's totally
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, well, for us, it's totally different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think musicians.
Steven Burns, dude.
Well, he's great. I want to get him on this. He lives
Oh,
here.
you should
Yeah.
totally
But
do that.
he makes a good. And a lot of them quote this thing: musicians want to be hilarious, and comedians want to be rock stars. So I think
Oh, yeah.
they always mesh well.
Yeah.
Because it's like a whole different thing, and we're not
Not stepping on each other's toes.
No, yeah, you
Yeah.
go to comedy, you're like.
I mean, I'm pretty funny, but I'm not a comedian.
I mean, you're making us laugh. So touche.
Yeah,
Touche.
yeah.
But I'm
Give
just
my
saying, I
laughs.
think for us it's a little different. Comedy show, hell yeah. But for
Yeah.
a music show, for me too, man, I'll get a text. Yo, man, I'm playing at the, and I'm like, I'd
Dude,
rather
you-
just fucking be in bed.
You and I drank way too much at his last show we did.
Dude,
man.
I don't think
It's
you
Zanies.
weren't there
No.
at that one. So it was a couple that we went, And one time it was me and him, and I think there was like some people next to us. But,
I think we tried to outdo each other with pitchers of margaritas.
well, because I mean, dude, we were just like we barely had a drink, and I was just like, "Hey, Arlis,
Turn it up.
pitcher," and you're like, "Oh hell yeah!"
Well, you had to buy so much. You have to spend so much at your
minimum.
seat. And I looked at the lady. I go, "Is a pitcher of margaritas count?" And she goes, "Yes." I go, "Give me one of them."
and I was like, as
And he
well.
goes, "I'll take one too."
And one water.
and throw it out.
yeah.
I think I went. Oh yeah, it was you were there and you left, and he had this one guy. Have you seen that movie Dads with Bill Burr? It's on Netflix.
Oh, maybe.
And he's all pissed off.
Yeah. I know.
So he goes to the strip club and there's a guy with the mustache and he tackles his friend.
he did it.
So he opened up the guy with the mustache, and I went to what is it? We've been there a million times.
Melrose
Melrose
Billiards.
Under Billiards,
pool
right?
table, yeah.
Right. And so we walk to it. We're like,
Oh my gosh.
and
It's
then
not a terrible walk, but it's a terrible walk at night when you've been drinking.
and it was this was a long time ago. It was and it was like the spike of summer. So we were like,
Oh.
dude, I remember I was like at the bar, like, and he called me an Uber. And I was like, I'll see you, man. He goes, I'm here. And he goes, when are you here next? He said, I'm open for Bill Burr at Bridgestone. I was like, oh, all right. See you then.
Small tater.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I'll see you that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had good times.
That's crazy.
Steve Burns, great. He's other than the show I played with him, I was in San Diego at the old Comedy Store in La Jolla, where my dad used to be the door guy.
Wow.
And all my friends worked there. And so,
No way.
and so I'm in town seeing Blink-182 because I was like, I got to see him in San Diego, and
he did that show
he
like
did
a week
show,
before.
and then I got to check I always have my notifications off. He fucking called me. He's like, "Hey, play every show this weekend." He had 6 shows. Didn't see the voicemail till the week later. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, I could have done all weekend." And then,
Minus Blink-182
yeah. Well, of course, I would have done like 4. But I was like, "Yo, my fucking bad." He goes, "Oh, I just thought you didn't want to do it." I was like, "I never knew you asked."
Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
But it was
you
so-
got to have your phone.
No, I just always have notifications off
That's how I am.
because artist forum. I just get so many. Like, hey man, so it makes me at ease. But I should have just listened to his voice. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? But it was such a fun weekend. That
He's
guy's
a good
great.
guy, man. He's a really good guy.
He's
That night we
rock
saw
star.
him when you played with him was
Yeah,
Man,
that was
that-
fun.
that- night
Nate
was-
Bargatze,
yeah.
Bert Kreischer,
yeah,
Joe DeRosa,
yeah.
It was
and then
everyone.
All of them.
and then oh my god, he's gonna be mad. The guy from NSYNC.
Justin Timberlake.
Not just
No.
Timberlake.
No, I'm kidding.
He just
Okay,
got.
I was
I know who you're talking
He
about.
just
Though.
got-
I was there. I
Yeah,
watched the
it's
show.
fine.
It was
Just
a
gotta-
great
Yeah,
show.
that was a fun night.
Let me see if I can find it. What's his name?
But that room they bought next door and built out was
yeah,
awesome.
that was cool.
Yeah.
They rented out, and then
Chris Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick,
There
yeah.
you go.
the red clay strays were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was about to go play again, and then Red Clay walked up. I was like, I ain't playing. Because then they grabbed my
got this.
guitar.
Yeah,
I was like, you take
All
it.
right, go ahead.
Yeah,
man,
your
go
Red
ahead.
Clay strays.
He got
Yeah,
this.
and they killed it, dude.
Yeah.
They killed it. It
Oh,
was
you
so
know,
good.
I'll sit down. I'll sit out in this.
Well, I do think that speaks to like people don't understand like the thing because I think Bert was like, "Oh, you play guitar and he'll sing."
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know his songs.
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
they
totally,
don't-
100%.
He's gonna like give me the chords.
cue?
yeah.
2, 4,
that was fun.
6.
They just opened up the lab next door and they had that after party there. That's
It was
a
great.
killer
Yeah, that
room.
was
What a
fun.
great room.
I
Yeah.
want to put some shit in that room because it'd be cool to do like I love
That
doing
would
the
be
music
cool.
comedy thing. So
Hockey
Yeah.
playoffs were going on, so
Yep,
everybody
yeah,
was kind of
yeah.
glued to the
yeah,
TV.
but
there.
it was still dude. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I was so hungover the next day. Yeah, that's right. That was a bad night. Remember, I got in my car and whatever. I left it. We went to some bar, you and me. After that show,
thought I went home.
the railroad tracks.
You thought you
Oh
went home?
yes.
And I was like,
That must have been a hell of a night.
no. And I was
Oh,
like,
my fiance took my truck. I was like, "Can I stay out with the
I
bush?"
thought
She's
I
like, "Of
went
course you
home."
can." Yeah.
and I saw railroad tracks. I was like, I'm not driving. So it was,
Oh,
anyway, it
man.
was just one of those nights.
I love it.
Hey, that's the thing. When I first moved in 2015, when I met Ryan, Uber just came out. That was such a
Uber
badass
Eats.
thing. Uber Eats came out.
Oh,
Postmates.
man.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
But the first time I met Ryan, I got so violently drunk. I left all my nice guitars at his house because we like rehearsed or something.
we jammed.
We just
Where was
jammed.
this at?
Yeah.
His house in 12
Here?
South.
We
Yeah.
met at
I just-
Red
I just-
Door.
I just
We were like
moved here.
friends of friends. Red Door Midtown.
Okay.
When it was still like smaller Red Door, not
Before they
big.
opened it all up, yeah.
Oh,
and
dude, I
it,
go
it
back
must have,
when it was a biker bar.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, it must have been like a Wednesday or something too. There was nobody there, and me and Tyler started chatting about like blues and
Yeah,
guitar,
guitars
Okay.
and shit.
and then we're like, all right, let's take the party to my house. And
Wow.
my
till
house was not-
till like 7 a.m. We were
and
playing
we sat
music.
playing music till like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Tyler gets an Uber and leaves.
and I just met him, and I left all my Martin, all this shit.
I think he might have played a songwriters round or something, so he had his stuff with him.
Okay.
And he brought it inside because he's like, I don't want to leave it in my car. It gets stolen.
I think it stayed at his house for like 2-3 days.
Yeah. No, it was like 3 or 4 days.
Such a Tyler
and I was like,
thing,
is this guy gonna come back for this, or is this mine?
I was like, I'm hungover, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
a little snippet about Red Door. Have you ever looked in the little hole on the floor?
Yeah.
I showed so many people that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I remember when they did that.
I love Red Door.
Oh, it's great.
I love old Red Door days.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was
How
so much
old?
fun.
Like what year y'all talking?
2015.
15.
Oh,
For me, that's
older. Yeah.
That's old. Yeah.
Because that's when I first moved here.
Well, now it's very popular. Before it was kind of like industry-ish. I guess it was biker bar.
Very
then to like more industry, like
it was more
kitchen
raw as poor
and,
ass songwriters went to, other than Bobby's.
Well, because now it's very collegey.
Yeah.
But back in 2015, I swear to God, dude, if you said agent, everyone would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everyone there was a musician.
Dude, now it's
and it was all like pop punk
a
on
row of
on
song
the,
pluggers that have nothing to do because their calendar. All they do is book calendars now.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, we don't have to pitch today. We're all drinking on the
wow
publisher's dime.
Man, that was such a different time. 2015. I still felt like it was still a pretty sleepy town, and then all of a sudden apartments started popping up everywhere in this town.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
gosh.
And then I moved to LA, and I came back last October, and I was like, whoa, there's an Apple store on Broadway?
Dude, when I first moved here, there was none of this.
That was a COVID
crazy
thing. I went
Apple store?
downtown like January of 2020.
Yeah.
And there was no Apple store.
Right.
And then the next time I went downtown was probably like 2021,
And there was an
January.
Apple store.
And I was like, there's an Apple store down here. Like,
It's wild.
yeah.
Let me get a charger.
Nah, screw it. I need one.
I break more phones than anyone.
Right.
I should have them on speed dial. Well, I guess it would make sense to have them on speed dial.
Get that insurance, man.
I do.
Yeah. I do.
What used to be strip clubs, though, right?
What's that? Deja
On
Vu
Broadway.
and all that?
No, Broadway.
Broadway?
Yeah, I've heard from some people back in the 90s it was
I'm sure
all
that-
strip clubs.
Not all.
No?
No.
I know there was the Roberts was the pedal steel.
Roberts
store.
was
Yeah.
there.
That was-
Tootsie's.
Yeah.
That was a store?
Ernest
Yeah.
Tubbs.
Wow, that's cool.
There was a bunch of crap holes there.
The Showbot, I
me
think?
and I think it was Brian
cool.
Davis, me, and a couple buddies from Florida. We went downtown because it was, I want to say $1 Busch Lights. You could get $1 Busch Light down there, and we decided we were going to shoot pool. And this guy pulls a knife out, stabs the pool table, and he goes, "I got y'all's back." And I'm like,
Holy shit.
I'm like, where are we? Like, this was way back in the day, man.
And
Way
he probably
back in
thought
the
he was
day.
being protected.
Oh, he
Scared the
was,
shit
and I'm
out
just
of
saying,
you.
you just ruined the whole pool table.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Thanks for having my back, though.
Yeah,
Fucked it up.
all because we bought him $1 freaking Busch Light.
Wow.
It was so crazy.
I think the best deal that I remember, this is probably 2014.
Yeah.
It was Paradise Park. You can get a $6
gosh.
pitcher of Natty Light.
Yeah.
A big pitcher. They filled up to the top, and I would just get that as my drink.
I'm talking more 98.
yeah,
99.
I know.
Wow.
Bobby's Idle Hour had,
Bobby- it
when
was
I
a
moved to
trailer
town,
when I
it was $1.25.
Did you come when it was a trailer?
No, this was the
When
second.
they moved into
this
Kim's
is-
Market.
Yes, this
Yeah.
was the second one.
Yeah.
Who, like, you know Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Josh, basically, him and I moved down here at the same time.
Okay.
We were in college in Utah.
Yeah.
He moved down here, and then I moved with him. He ends up owning the bar now, which is
so
wild.
crazy.
Wild.
I love
I'm
that.
actually going to his show tonight. He's got his band, West
rock.
Memphis Rain Company.
Let's rock and roll, dude.
Yeah, where's that at?
They're doing it at
How much
D's.
time you got left?
Oh, okay.
But
You're 57 minutes in.
Okay, cool. Let's a couple more. Go ahead.
I'll restart so we can just edit that.
No. Just keep going.
Yeah, so his band's playing tonight, West Memphis Rain Company.
Okay.
This isn't the record I did with him, but he put out a record a couple days ago.
Okay.
Really great
So you
stuff.
produced him too, though?
Yeah. We did
That's cool, man. You do a lot of
we've
stuff.
been in like writing in bands together since
Okay.
we were in college, since I was
Yeah.
18.
He lived at the 12 South House.
Yeah. So like we've kind of been in every
You guys are two of the
incarnation.
most multi-talented people. I mean, like,
Talking,
crazy, dude.
You know, dude, come on.
Jack
you,
of all
you-
trades, master of none.
Well,
Wow.
that's why I always vibe with you because you're like, yo, man, I got a song. Anyway, I got this idea.
Yeah. He's
like-
a Steve Jobs.
And I'm like, yeah. Steve Jobs.
Dude.
I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Tell me we're not gonna talk about it
I
right
do
now,
a
but
lot.
that idea you told me at the bar,
Bro, it's
that is
it's-
a $1 million idea.
It's multi-million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Hopefully,
gotta line it up, man.
I'm ironing it out as we speak.
Well, we got a couple more minutes. There's a couple more artists you can talk about.
For it.
You also used to tour manage Kenny G, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did that for about 7-8 years, and he's a world traveler. You know, there's no lyrics to his songs, so
Yeah,
he's famous in China.
I
and
played
all
a
that.
casino in Florida a festival, and you guys were there like a couple days before.
Oh, really?
And I saw it
so you saw the
because you had to sign it.
that.
And I was like, yeah.
Oh, the ceiling.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Fuck.
Because you texted me, you're like,
Yeah.
were you just here?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, we were.
I forget the name of that town. It was a very long.
Well, we
name.
did Florida Theater. We did like these same routes. It was a Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. Oh, dude, that was when in L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, like you had to wear the mask, right? And I was still in L.A. And my keyboardist Mike Mangan, he plays with the Cult, plays with he plays with a really big blues guy. It's his final tour coming up right now. Glenn Hughes.
Okay.
Anyway, he was like super not with it. My drummer was very like, we have to wear the mask, and so there's a lot of but I'm like, hey guys, can you grab my pedal board? And they didn't grab it, and so I go park it, and I got guitar, luggage, pedal board. And I'm like, and I run up, and I'm like, hey. I'm like, fuck, it's United. I was like, I gotta get on. And Del Teague walk right on because I'm like a medallion member. But then I was like, hey, can I go? And the guy's like, put your mask on. I go, oh. And I was, by the way, I ran over a cone because LAX, and it was like a big one, and it was like this above my tire. So I'm like, oh, Holy Mary, Mother of God, trying to cuss, like, fuck. I was like freaking out. And I get to there, and I'm covered in dirt and blood. And the guy's like, put your mask on. Like basically, like, I'm not gonna talk to you. Put your mask on. I go, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like you. I've seen you get mad.
Yeah.
And I put it on. I go, yeah. And he's like, can I help you? I was like, oh my God. And I was like, hey, can I do it? He goes, you're going to miss your flight. I'll get to you tomorrow. I go, no, dude, I got a show. I got to be on there.
Yeah.
And I'll make this really quick. And then eventually I look at the lady next to her. I go to him. I go, can you help me? He goes, yeah, I'll help you. And the guy, I was like, what the? And so they get my stuff on. Mike, who tours the whole world, was like, hey, dude, I told the plane you're coming. We're not going to take off till you get here. I was like, oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. So I go through. I got my guitar. Of course, it's the last gate. So I'm like running. Dude, it was just like a cool day. They don't let you off the plane, right? They let people back off. I guess they're just being really chill.
Okay.
Because who was on the plane? It was fucking Billy Gibbons and Theo Vaughn. And they're both sitting right there. And Billy Gibbons is like this. And I go, and he goes, I heard you almost missed your flight, young man. I was like, what the? It was so cool.
Like, am I hallucinating right now?
It was so cool. And then
that is awesome.
4.5 hour flight direct down to Florida from LA. And like Theo Vaughn's like, what's up, man? Like doing shots. And it was insane.
Is cool.
It was super cool. But then I saw Kenny G. I was like,
up there.
You were here?
Yeah.
But you did that for a while.
I did that for a while. Man, my Billy Gibbons story was he came to, because he wanted to get Jamie to sing on his ZZ Top tribute record. And he did. We got Jamie to do it. But he goes, Arlis, man, let's go grab a 6-pack of Red Stripe. Like, he drank Red Stripe. And I was like, let's go. And so we drove to the convenience store together.
With Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
To get Red Stripe.
Got a 6-pack of Red Stripe, come back to the office, and him and I are just drinking it, and Jamie comes in, and I'm sitting there with Billy Gibbons. He goes, Arlis? It's like, Jamie? Billy, Jamie is crazy, man.
That is so cool.
And he's so cool, like, you melt.
When
you're like, yes, we will do it. What do you need us to do?
Yep. When we got off the flight, I was just, like, trying to freak out because he was right next to us for luggage, and his guy came up to get him to go to the show where he was playing.
Yeah.
And I go, what are you doing here, Mr. Gibbons? And he just looks at his friend and goes, what are you here for? Oh, I think I'm playing a show. I just walked away. It was just so cool.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Cool. He's so chill, man. Quiet, really cool guy. Yeah.
Well, after Kenny G.
So ran Kenny G's world for 7-8 years, something like that, and just tour managing him. But he was part-time, and then he started picking up a lot after COVID. And I'm trying to build my festival world, so we just kind of had a mutual, hey, I love you.
Gotta go.
Best of luck. And we, I still love him to death. He's a great guy, but we just had to go.
Sure.
Touring the world like that. It's
a lot.
It's a lot.
And so no more tour managing.
I stopped tour managing. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Sure,
I like waking up on a tour bus in a different town every day. I've been everywhere, man. I mean, it's cool and all, but you have to retrain everybody every day that's new at the house, and you're training those dudes. Like, I like going in now and being a part of a festival where I'm there for a week, 10 days, same spot. I get to hit my same coffee spot, and I'm seeing familiar faces.
Feels
and
more
stuff
like an
that.
office.
Yeah, and it's the same crew. So once I teach them and they know my system and we're doing it, it's really easy.
It's awesome.
It just, things are a little more smoother.
Well, then, before we wrap it up, then what do you got coming up?
Coming up, the thing I talked to you about, I'm in the middle of doing all that, but
we'll talk about that eventually.
Yeah, I've been motivated. I've been studying it, but I get calls from young kids now, young writers, young entrepreneurs, young business people, young tour managers, and they all are seeking advice and wisdom, and I love it. You know what I mean? I love that giving back, and I love feeling a need for people. And so I've just been listening to like the Speaker Lab and stuff like this on a podcast and learning how to be a speaker. I'm thinking I might want to go and be a speaker and just help people and just find a need and fill it.
You got the vibe. You got the also too, like, you'll tell how it is. Like, no, you're not doing the right thing.
I mean, to a point, unless if I understand what's going on, I'll tell them how it is. But if I'm learning what it is, I'm not going to.
But if it's the music industry, you're like, oh, let me tell you about it.
Oh, I can do that all day. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of in that mode right now, learning that system. I don't want to just go do it, but I probably should. I probably should just take the shoes off and jump in. You know what I mean?
think so. I think there's a point of, I guess, industry knowledge of where, like, you're old enough to have done things and seen how it happens and know what works and knows what doesn't work, but also still young enough to know what's coming up.
That's right.
And there's that really slim margin where you could really help a lot of people of being, like, cool and hip enough to they're going to listen to you.
Yeah, and I don't want it to be
if
like...
If you get to 80, they're like, this guy doesn't...
Yeah. And I don't want it to be like where I'm just totally helping music industry people. It could be corporate or whatever, like dealing with rejection, which is a music business number one. If you can't cope with rejection in this business, you're in the wrong business.
It'll break in the first few weeks.
Oh, man, done.
You said this quote to me. We said earlier, we're having a drink. If you knew you had to get 9 no's, and then the 10 was a yes, you'd be stoked when you got the first no.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I got a couple more.
The whole notes I'm doing is 100 no's to get the one yes, you know. I mean, for a while, my average was 75 songs to get one cut. I had to write 75 songs to get one cut back in the day, in the EMI days.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of songs.
That's a lot. I wrote 2 a day, and I wrote every day, Monday through Friday. And then I'd go on the road with artists, and I mean, there was a year I had over 280 songs I turned in. Like,
wow.
You run out of ideas after a while.
Totally. Yeah. Well, let's leave it with this. What's some good advice? And let's just keep it music industry because that's what we're talking about.
No, that's great.
About, if there was a kid that just moved here today, because I feel like, was it 100 people a day?
It's a lot.
100 music industry people move here?
Just people. And everyone now that moves here is like, oh, I could be a songwriter.
They've seen Nashville, the TV show.
I would say if they're moving So the one guy that's moving to town, if you're fresh to town and you want to be a songwriter, I would probably find peers that match where you're at. Go to the local. They got a great writer's night on Wednesday and Friday.
I played the first night there.
Yeah, the Freak Show, right?
No. It was just the local. There was no one there.
The local. Oh, okay.
There was no one there.
Anyway. But there's a great writer's night there, and all the writers go, and they hang out. And you get to meet people at your level. Go to the Bluebird. And not only are you meeting these people, you kind of see where the competition is at that level, right? And if you hear someone that's just astronomically way above your level, then you need to hit that plateau. You need to get to that plateau or bring him into a write or her into a write and then write with them and just study their style and learn. And the key to the industry is getting to know people.
Yep.
Sure.
I would say it's cliquey. In a way, it really is cliquey. Your circles matter. You know what I mean? When I first moved to town, it was Jamie Johnson, Randy Hauser, Lee Bryce, Dierks Bentley, Keith Anderson. It's a pretty good little circle. Yeah. And, I got successful because they got successful.
Sure.
So just like Luke Combs' people's got successful, there is a small portion of that, but there's also you have to meet the right people at all times. You know what
100%.
I mean? Well connected. But you have to do your craft. You can't be that writer that moves to town and go, oh, I'm not inspired. I can't write today. Well, then you aren't a writer.
Yeah.
I have to say this out loud, and people hate me for this. It's like, wake up, go do your job. If your job, you want to be a songwriter, start writing at 10 a.m. Like there's a bunch of kids now that I write with, and I love this system. They're the ones that created the system. They write at 9 a.m. for an hour. Just you and me, or the three of us. We'll meet 9 a.m., boom, we write, we stop at 10 o'clock, we're done. And then he goes and writes all day with somebody else. But that hour that we started, that's his next write. So when we get together again,
warm up.
It's 10 o'clock, 10:30 the rest of the day because we already have the idea. We've already ironed it out in that hour. And we didn't entrench ourselves into thoughts that could go everywhere. You come back the next day or 2 days later and you have a fresh start on an idea that's already has a little foundation going.
Love
It's
that.
a very
Yeah.
like Hemingway used to write till he had his best idea, and then he'd stop
And
writing.
he stopped so he could come the next day.
So the next day he would start
It
writing
is-
with his best idea,
Bro.
and that's how he said he had never had writer's block.
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's the
Wow.
Hemingway system.
It's the Hemingway method.
Yeah.
Do they call
Coined
it?
by me.
There it is. That's great. Yeah.
Ryan Sanchez.
Yeah.
What do you
Hemingway
call
It's like
it?
the Michael Scott quote, like you missed 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. It's like this
That's
is what
it.
you should do.
That's
Hemingway,
it.
me.
That's right. You skate to where the puck's going to be, not where it's
The
at.
Ryan Sanchez firm.
Yeah.
There you
Watch
go.
this drive.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's your
That's it.
commercial.
this drive,
It's
yeah.
your billboard.
Lawyer for hire.
It's your billboard in 10 years, all over Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, that guy won't call me back no more. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Well, hey, well, dude,
Your
love you,
phone's
man.
always off, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, dude, love you. How can people find you?
Man, arlisalbritton.com or at Arlis Albritton on Instagram, or I'm on Facebook. I'm on all that stuff.
We'll be tagging you. This was great. I'm glad we did it a second time. We now know what we're doing.
I'm not as energetic as I normally am. I'm like, what?
Nah, dude. We'll do this again. You know, once we get a whole bunch more going, we'll have you come back.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Have y'all on mine?
Hey, let's do
Oh,
it.
well,
I'm going to redo mine. I'm going to do the Rock the Reset. I'm going to start it back up.
nice.
Yeah,
Should.
I should.
That's
I
his
should.
podcast.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be
All right,
awesome.
Well, love you, man. Thank you, Taylor.
All right.
Taylor, you know,
Thanks, everybody.
say it over and I'll say it again. How can people find this place?
Garden Groove.
GardenGroove.com.
Garden-groove.com.
So if you guys are looking to find a great podcast place, do garden-groove.com.
Here in East Nashville.
East Nash, this is great. Honestly, I've looked all around. This one's pretty damn good. So
It's good.
I would check it out. So
It's good. And the makeup lady is really good looking, too.
the bathrooms are pristine here. No, thank you guys.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks so much. See
Thanks,
ya.
guys.
Yay.
Sweet. All right, Taylor, thank you.